the culture in
A liar, a cheater, a deceiver,
Deceiver,
heartbreaker, and I won't let you back in my life. So I'm taking the house, the car, the kids,
and the
the dog. I
want
want it all.
Give it to me.
That's crazy.
Yo, you know what I was thinking about? I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say obviously. Wow, your socks are dirty. I was thinking about death, and not in like, are you scared of death?
Am I scared of death? I'll tell you what. Since having a daughter, I was like, I don't want to leave her. Prior to
you got choked up on that one.
No,
Listen, nah, you got choked up.
I swear to you, no, I didn't. It's like phlegm. It's like phlegm.
That's that choked up.
No, but since having her, I was like, oh no, I don't want to leave her at all. But I would say prior to having her, I was like, death is a normal part of life. It is what it is. If when it's my time, it's my time, and I still understand that. But before, I was like, I didn't feel like I mean, I obviously have family, but I didn't feel like I was leaving someone behind. But now, if I ever were to go before I'm supposed to,
but
no, it's different.
Yeah,
no, it's different, man. Like your seed, it's different. Yeah, so I would say that ever since having her, I gotta make sure I do what I can to stay here. But it's funny because years ago when I first kind of met my buddy Ed, I was like, "Yo, come on a hike with me," and he's like, oh, "Okay, cool." He wasn't really into that, but he was like, "I'll go with you," and so we went on a hike over here in Reseda, and we're about. I mean, it was a steep hike. It was pretty rough, but we were probably like halfway done. And he's like, "Yo." Like he has asthma. He didn't tell me though. He didn't tell me he uses an inhaler when he needs it, and so he didn't bring it because I guess he didn't know. He's never hiked, so he didn't know what a hike was. He thought we were walking through, kind of just walking.
Okay.
I was like, all right, cool. But I mean, I will be honest with you, the hike was a little advanced, right? So we're halfway through. He's like, "Yo, what's up?" And mind you, we're kind of new friends, so right, we're at the point where he can yell at me and be like, "Yo, you idiot! What are we doing out here?" So he's like, "Yo, man, how much longer you think we got?" And I was like, "Yo, it's on the other side of this ridge. We're out of here. It's all clear sailing." Chelsea, we get on the other side of a ridge and we're still in it. And he's like, "You think we're gonna be out of here soon?" And I was like, "Yeah, you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm just really going through it." He's like, "You almost done?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "My bad, man." I was like, "On the other side of this, around the corner, we're out of here." We get around that corner, we still got more to go. So
why are you doing this to him?
I didn't remember where the exit was. I don't do.
So you all.
Yeah, I legit thought that we were at the end because we were in there for about an hour.
Okay.
And so he gets to the point where he needs a break, so he takes a break, and we finally get out of there. But at the end, he's like, "Man," he's like, I've never felt the way I just felt." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Man," he's like, "I literally felt like I was probably gonna pass out or just die." He's like, "Cause I couldn't breathe." He's like, I didn't have my inhaler. And I couldn't breathe. And he's like, "That's why I kept breaking." He's like, "But I was like, I got kids I gotta get back to. He's like, I gotta get home to my kids. I gotta get home to my kids. I gotta get home to my kids."
Yo, he's going through this whole
without saying anything to me. Without saying anything to me.
Because there's what you gonna say? You can't get him from the top of the hill to the bottom.
Fair enough. But I'm
like, every time he asked you, you could at least. I bet you by that first time he asked you, you probably could have turned around.
No,
everything would have been easy.
Nah, we were more than halfway past, right? So it would have taken.
It would more than halfway.
Yeah, and I mean, we were more than halfway, so it would have taken him longer to get back the way we came than just finishing it out.
Wow.
Honestly, we just needed flat land. It was a while before we got to flat land, and so after we finished it, he was like, "Yo," he broke it down to me, and I was like, "Damn."
Did y'all ever go on a hike again?
No. I haven't been. I mean, it was funny. I've invited him probably to one or two more hikes after that. And he's like, I can't make it, which I get, man.
Right,
I mean, he probably couldn't make it, but I wouldn't be in a rush to try to rehike if that was my experience.
No, not if I literally. If you have to think I have kids that I gotta get home to, that's a dire situation.
Yeah, so
you don't just think that.
Yeah, exactly. So getting back to how we started, I totally get it. Right? If I were in a dire situation and I was like, "Yo, if life and death's on the other side of each of these hills, I'm fighting for that life."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fighting for it.
Yeah. But I was just thinking because it we're literally trained. Everything about the way we maneuver this life is taught to us. What's good and what's bad is taught to us. What is good, I was just thinking about the word white and black. Just the colors. Let's not even think about anything deeper than that. But like how they make the color white so bright and renewing and like free, and then black is like
Pure.
yeah, pure. That's the one. And then black is like dark. Be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like, whoa. Like, I really wanted to start doing like black is the new white. But I don't even want to be white. You know what I mean? The color.
Unpack that. Black is the new white.
Because it's like, what if we just start to look at black like we do the color white? Like, we were just taught like black was pure and black was refreshing and black was bright. Like, that'd be interesting. So then we're in thinking of death. It's like we're taught that death is bad and dark and depressing and sad and the end.
Do you think that's
really it couldn't possibly not be?
Do you think that's an American thing?
Ooh. Well, I don't know too many other cultures like that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I'm thinking even in the African culture, did we look at black as black?
Okay, so let's get into it. So it's just so funny you mentioned all that. So maybe last week, Azalea and I just happened to talk about how there's a country or an island in the Philippines. I think it's like Negros.
Okay.
And on that island, it's just a bunch of like dark, like my complexion, dark skin Filipinos. Our complexion, dark skin Filipinos, like black people with curly hair though. And then I was like, oh wow. And so we just so happened to go on a video. This is what I Googled. This is what I YouTubed. I'll break it down to you. And I said, I Googled Filipino. I said racist Filipinos. I YouTubed racist Filipinos and see what came up. Azalea and I did this. And then one of the first videos that popped up was like, how do Filipinos feel about the word Negro in the Philippines? Right? And so we watched
it. You said it just so happened to pop up.
Yeah, we typed in racist Filipinos, and then one of the videos was how do Filipinos feel about the word Negro?
Got it. Got it.
And so watching it, and so they're in the Philippines. It's a Filipino woman interviewing about different Filipino people, and they're asking, do you think that Filipinos or people should get offended when you use the word Negroes? Mm-hmm. And the Filipinos were like, well, no, because there's an island. There's people here that are the Negroes, like the Negros, right? They'll say Negros. Yeah. But it's like, they describe it like, they're darker skinned people with curly hair, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, well, no, I don't think that there should be any offense to that. Mm-hmm. When you use the word Negro, right? If you're using it in the context of talking about a specific person here,
right?
And then this one woman was like, yeah, the word Negroes is totally okay because that's what they're called there, but don't use the word. Filipino woman with a baby in her arm. She's like, don't use the word because I said that one time and this man got really, really mad at me and he said that's extremely offensive. And she's like, I didn't know that. She's like, I didn't know that. She's like,
well,
she knew that it was another word used for like darker skinned people, but she didn't know that because I said, Negro is not offensive there. But right. If you were calling a black person a nigger.
You have a lot of bleeps happening in this whole episode, by the way, but go ahead.
Why?
Because we're on YouTube, man. You can't. I don't think you can say the ER.
We're not monetized yet.
I don't know that.
We're monetized. We're all the way monetized.
Hey man, what the fuck going on,
timestamp. So they're not offended when you use the word Negroes, but if you say they are, right? Mm-hmm. They understand that that's something different.
Yeah.
And so, but it was just really fascinating. Like,
we're not monetized yet.
It was fascinating. It was fascinating to just kind of tap in and like hear how in the Philippines there's a group of people that are dark skinned that they do call Negroes.
But they don't call them.
No, no.
You scrunched your face like we didn't just have that conversation.
No, they don't. They don't say that. I'm saying that one woman, she said that not knowing that it was different than the word Negro.
I don't believe that though. I don't believe.
Sure.
No. I mean,
because then she's like, I felt terrible. She's like, I felt so bad that I offended this man. She's like, I had no idea. But mind you, again, she went on. I could tell that she didn't know that she knew. She knew.
Experienced it, not me.
True. Right. But anyways, what I'm just getting at is, how in different countries, black skin complexion, is a factor in other countries. In Asia, when I was in the Philippines, but let's say Korea specifically, they have a lot of skin whitening products. When I was in the Philippines, when I was in the Philippines, we went to a random grocery store, and there's tons of product that is skin whitening product, because they believe that the lighter your skin, the better, you know, more well off you are or whatever.
But that's for not just.
But what I'm getting at is,
cultures.
exactly. But what I'm getting at is, it's not just a slave thing where they say, oh, you know, you're light skinned because you work in the house. Yeah, let's get into it, because they were saying, oh, you know, you're darker skinned, so because you were a field worker, a field slave, and then the lighter skinned people worked in the house, so they were obviously shaded, so they weren't as dark.
I don't know if that's how it went.
I'm not saying that's why people are light skinned. That's why people are dark skinned.
But that's what they assumed.
Yeah, it was like that was the idea, you know.
Because you're in the shade all day.
Yeah, so light skinned people are considered better because they weren't the field slaves. Mm-hmm. You're like.
I also wonder what it is about like how white people get sunburned so easily compared to like us. We just get darker. We don't really get sunburned.
Yeah.
Like, yes, of course, like some stuff can happen.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, it's just like not.
Some of that leaked into Phoenix's bloodline.
What you mean she gets sunburned?
She like, yeah, so her skin.
He said leaked.
So
I hope she doesn't watch this shit. Yo.
No, I've been like a couple days ago. Zoe was like, "Hey, have you noticed that Phoenix's cheeks have been like really red?" And I was like, And I was like, "Okay." And so I paid attention to it. And then today, I was like looking at her skin, and I was like, "Oh, it is a little like dry and patchy, like she was sunbeaten." And I was like, yeah, that's from your other side."
He said, "I gave you melanin, baby."
That's from your other side.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
Let's say for myself in my industry, like so carpentry, woodworking. Mm-hmm. So you know, there's accidents that happen when you're using machines, for example, right? So like the table, you know what a table saw is?
We talked about the guy's finger getting cut the fuck off.
Yes, right. So let's say like a table saw is a machine. It's like it's a table essentially with a blade that comes up through the table.
Okay.
And then you have a fence, which is like a guardrail that allows you to press up whatever piece of wood you're trying to cut.
Okay.
You press it up against that fence, and then you slide it through the blade.
Oh, okay.
Right? You can widen that fence if you have a wider cut you need to make, or narrow that fence if you need a narrower cut.
That's the only one I told you I didn't want to use. Remember? When
yeah.
We were oh boy.
Yeah, the table saw.
Yeah,
all right.
Go ahead.
So when you're just using a table saw, you're just using it. But the more you use it, you start to become more in tune with the sounds you hear. Because literally, you're literally just cutting. You're pushing a piece of wood through a blade.
Right.
But it does make noise. It makes specific noise. It makes a specific noise, specific sound. And so like when you're making a clean, easy cut, you're like, oh, it's pretty quiet. Right. But when you're going through like a rough or a dense piece of wood, it's a lot louder. So if you're going through a soft piece of wood like a pine, if I push through it, I'd be like, but if I'm going through like, let's say like an ipe or a walnut or like a teak, it's like, it's much louder because the engine's working harder to get through that denser wood, right? Okay. And so if you start to hear like, say you're doing a soft piece of wood, and it's like this, and you start to hear like a ramp up, you know that something's out of order, right? You wouldn't know if you didn't know. But if you're pushing a piece of wood in and you notice that the volume is starting to increase on what you're pushing through, there's a lot more tension on the blade and the piece. So either stop pushing or slow down how much you're pushing. Ooh. Right? Because what can happen is that's when you get what's called kickback. That's when the blade, the piece of wood you're trying to push through gets pinched or goes at a funky angle, which then essentially allows the blade to kick it back towards you. Ooh. And so, but you can kind of prevent that
when
like,
that happens, does it hit you in the gut?
Yeah, it'll hit you. It'll literally shoot back faster than you can react to, and just hit you right in the gut. Okay. A story. So I've had kickback maybe 4 times, but when I was working when I first got out of college, I was working in a scenic shop, and my boss was working on a table behind me, which was like directly behind the table saw. Yeah. So we're pretty much back to back, right? So I'm pushing through. He's behind me on the table, on the table, and he just so happened to be back there, but facing my direction, right? He was doing something, but he was facing me. Okay. And so I pushed something through, and it kicked back. Ooh. I managed to like get out the way. I slid to the right because it was like woof, right past my left rib. It went past me and hit him like in his stomach. And he was like, ugh! And I was like, oh my God. And then he was like, he looked at me. He just like looked at me.
I can't believe you did this.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. He pulled his shirt up. He had a big welt, nasty purple and blue welt, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And like they hurt. I've been hit with kickback, and like it hurts, right? And so
I could imagine a big piece of fucking wood just smacking you in your stomach. First of all,
you're not expecting it.
It's when you're not expecting, you're probably breathing out or breathing in, and just
yeah.
Stop it.
All just getting back to right. Just you can kind of hear now. I can hear now when the piece of wood I'm cutting isn't acting right. So I either back up or stop cutting and just reconfigure. But I feel you on it taking a keen ear to kind of realize those intricacies.
Oh, for sure. And it was like as I was like leaving and like quitting that job that I started to get my ear. And it'd be like, oh, and you start to like care about your ears, right? You start putting earbuds in, like when people are playing loud music, you're like, no, you're not fucking these up.
Yeah.
You know, because if they start playing loud music, your ears are gonna be ringing.
Yeah.
And you can't hear.
Yeah.
And then you can't work.
Right.
And then they're wondering why the mix isn't done.
I've been waiting. What's happening?
Or like why high pitches, like why you have the high pass it's just crazy. But anyways.
What's a money mistake you made in your 20s?
A money mistake
that you still remember or think about today. It doesn't really bother you, but you're like, that was a big financial mistake I made in your 20s. Whether you bought something, invested wrong, spent money irresponsibly.
I mean, recently, because I haven't talked about stocks recently.
Yeah, culture menu stocks.
If we're being 100%, if I'm being as honest as I can be, I lost a lot of money recently.
Yeah, in the market?
To the point where it set me back a lot.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, because
I can't even get on.
You kept adding in?
I can't even open Thinkorswim right now because
there's
still like feelings there.
Yeah.
You know, like I literally haven't done stocks in I think 2 months.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months. I literally don't open it. I don't wake up at 6:30. Well, I work up at 6:30 to go to work. But like it sucks a lot. Yeah. What are you doing?
Trying to get this thing. Oh, you're under here.
Yeah, so it didn't move. See, and you think it's just easy, huh? Just timestamp. That's it. We didn't even clap. We didn't do that for Rich or Fresh, and it's like it took me forever for like 45 minutes to align everything because you're aligning not just those 2 cameras, but now you're aligning those 3 mics, which is like 1, right? Because they're all starting at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's that camera, and they both have their own audio. And then our audio. So that's 3 things I have to align. And people think that's easy. It all starts at the same time, but it doesn't. There is 1 second difference to where if I just throw it all in at the same time, your lips are like, and then we were going to the.
Yeah. No, I get it. I hear you.
So what's going on here?
I'm just trying to get this because I feel like it was too far over. But yeah, so you say stocks is probably.
Oh yeah, stocks is probably the only thing where I'm like,
damn, I shouldn't have did that.
But again, I've made the most money and I've lost the most money.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I definitely plan on flipping that shit again. It's just I was like, woo, I need to take a break because I was signing thousands.
Yeah, I get it. I hear you. I hear you.
Thousands.
I was off the market for 3 months.
I said,
maybe.
I'm gonna get a job. I said, because this shit here, doing this every day, like it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like nothing.
And to feel like I have to make a trade every day because I need to make a certain amount of money sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me just get a job and then I don't have to make a certain amount of money.
I mean, however
I'm
you
not
want.
forced to make a trade, right?
Yeah, but you also, but by being a trader, you also have the freedom of your time.
Correct, but it's not worth it.
It depends, I suppose.
Because in my head, I'm like, I could still be a trader and go to work.
If you can be on your phone, while you're at work, yeah, you can. I mean, I'm saying if you can figure it out.
I'm give you in trouble.
I'm saying if you can figure it out.
No, what you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Listen, but I'm definitely gonna get back into it, and I've definitely started to like look at videos a little bit and be like, okay, but like,
yeah.
And I start thinking about lines and charting sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll literally be driving and charting.
1000%. No, I hear you. Once I got broken, I would stop watching like all anything.
Sonny.
If it was a stock thing on my
Chris
YouTube,
Sane and shit.
all of it. if you were stock related, dislike.
And which is crazy because as we started to elevate in knowledge, all the stuff that we would send each other like didn't mean shit. It was like that's nothing. They're like not even giving you. Like,
they're not giving you enough information.
And I'm not saying Chris Sane doesn't give you the game. He gives you a lot. But
he's giving you plays, but
there is so much more.
Yeah, you have to know how to play those plays. Yeah.
Fibonacci. They don't. Yeah. I never hear him talk about Fibonacci.
Yeah.
So there's like little things I'm like.
Yeah, that matter. Things that matter they don't get into. But he's like, he's like, my audience just want to know what play I need.
They just want to make some money today.
For sure.
And he's not always gonna be right. Sometimes on purpose.
Yeah.
Which what do you think that is when people that are talking about stocks and things like that, why don't they give you the keys for real?
Well, I don't think there is a key exactly.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like
even when we watched Black Girl Stocks.
Okay.
Ooh, I shouldn't say these people's names. But even when we watched her, there are no keys there. Once you become aware of what it takes, there are no keys there. She doesn't tell you anything. She doesn't tell you a chart. She tell you how to make a line on shit, and you be like, "Oh, well, that looks like a flag." Okay, but like when you're really starting to get into it, you're like, shit.
Yeah,
you're holding stuff from me.
But the thing is, right? I mean, I think her audience is like the beginner audience, right? So I think her videos are like as beginner as it becomes. Whereas, say you watch someone else, like a Chris Sane or whoever else might be,
Kevin Trades.
Yeah, they're a little more. Their audience is a little more advanced.
Okay.
Right, so I'm not knocking her for giving that basic info because she did tap me. She's like when I first was getting into option trading, I went to her video because I watched the video several times because she broke down. She made it simple to understand. So I don't knock her.
I'll give it. No, I'm not knocking her, but I'm also wondering why people in that realm don't just look here. This is what you do.
It's not that easy. Because I couldn't tell you exactly. Like, say I was. Some people are good at Some people are good at trading, but like
it's hard to explain price action. Even when we got into price action, we were like, "Oh shit!"
Because a lot of it has to do with your own intuition, like when to get in and then when to get out. It's a lot of like personal stuff, personal stuff. But
it's your own.
Yeah, there's no
one answer.
Key.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you can't say get in at 32.8. It's like around there.
Yeah, I mean.
You can still get in at 32.9 and still make a profit.
And at the end of the day, you don't control the market. So like you can be like, yo, I'm reading the charts. The chart says it's gonna move up $1 tomorrow, and then it goes down 4. Yeah. But let's continue talking about stocks because I was tapped out for a while. I just recently started. My buddy, he's tapped into AMC heavy, so he was like, yo, man, like I understand. He's like, he understands how AMC moves. So he's like, yo, like if you want to start messing with it, let's get into it. So I started messing with AMC a little bit. And I was like, okay, I made a couple bucks here. Yeah. But mind you, my account. Okay. Well, let's say I make like 30% of what my account was.
Okay.
Because my account though was low, right? It was low because I got hit bad like February, March. So I kind of left it alone, and then
February, March, that's a long time ago, man.
Let's say like April. April is when I really kind of left it alone. So it's been a while.
It was only when I like hit you up and we like go over shit.
Yeah, right. But then, even then, I was like, I'm not really in it. But you would tell me you were doing well, and I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, he was like, let's mess with some AMCs. So I have been or was, but AMC legit was like kind of like it doesn't follow traditional. It doesn't follow anything else. AMC is like a rogue
it's like
stock.
A crypto.
Yeah, it's rogue and it does what it wants. So I made a couple loss more than I made. Not a lot, but like I was like, I don't want to really mess with AMC that much. So I was down to my last probably like, let's say like last $100 in the account. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just go back to what I got into, like SPY. So I was like, look at SPY. Look at SPY. So SPY went down like it went down like $6 the other day in a day. $6 to $10. I don't remember. It was down a lot in a day.
And you're like, oh.
And I was like, oh. Well, at Chelsea, so check this out.
Tomorrow.
At 12, the market closes at 1 on West Coast. At 12:59, I was like, let me buy a call for tomorrow. But I only had $100 though. I was like, this is my last money right here. It's
gonna either be gone in the morning. Or
Exactly. Chelsea, when I say I made it, at 12:50, I was like, I didn't even think it was gonna get filled by 1, and I was like, come on, and I only had $100, right? So I couldn't even get like the most immediate in the money strike price.
Sure.
So I was like $4 out. But I was like, I just want to make a little profit. I just want to make a little something.
Give me $20.
So like the morning comes, my buddy who does stocks with me, he hits me usually every morning like at 6 something before the market opens. Because he's already on it, and he's like, "Yo, SPY's up $6," and I woke up and was like, "Woo!
Let me go get my
money." Right? So the market opens 6:30. I'm in it trying to sell my contract because I bought it for 60.
Yeah.
I was about to sell it for 180.
Woo!
That was a single contract.
Woo!
So but the high I could have gotten it for it was 153%.
Yeah.
I could have tried to sell it for like 200, but you know how it goes. When by the time you actually get it to fill, it was 180.
You had to redo.
Yeah, but I was like, I'll take my 180. So I was like, okay. I was like, it reminded me of like casinos. You know how like casinos, like when you're a beginner at casino, you start to win. You win a lot when you're a beginner because they want to keep you in. And I was like, man, I was on my way out of this market, and y'all trying to get me back. So I was like, cool. So I made my money. Look. I made 100. I made an extra. Let's see. I bought it for 60. Made 180. So $120.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So then I was like, well, let me just go ahead, keep going. So today, but then midday yesterday, SPY tanked.
I was about to say SPY went down like
SPY
$6
tanked.
yesterday.
SPY
or some
tanked.
Shit.
So this morning, I was like, okay, well, let me just watch it. Because I was like, there's no way it's going to keep tanking.
Mm-hmm.
Got in around 6. No, sorry. Got in around 6:35. Rode that thing up for like 30 minutes. Bought 2 contracts, though. Because the key is, right? Because you want to have at least more than one. Yep. So you can pull one, let the other one ride. Mm-hmm. So this morning, I bought 2 contracts. That thing flew up, made myself a cool like $120, and I was like, nice. Pulled out. I had a price. I was looking at the charts. I was like, it ain't gonna make it past 456. It's gonna start to want to putter out around 456. Because usually what I do is I was like, oh, it has so much more room to run. But I was like, beast. I was like, dude. I was like, my goal for right now is to at least make $100 a day.
Stop touching me.
Sorry, I just want to make at least $100 a day. So I was like, because I sold my first contract for like $60. Ooh. My second contract was like at least like $70. I was past my 100. So I was like, let me get to at least 456 and let me call it. So I got 456, cut it, and it probably went up maybe 50 more cents, and then that thing went down. But then it ended up rising more throughout the day. But I was good because I stuck with the plan, got my fun, I reached my goal. And so I was like, let's just take those baby bites.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's the hardest part for me is sticking to the plan. Because when you're riding up, you're like, oh, I could just get another 20, another 20, another 20. But back to what you're saying about the casino, right? When I went to Puerto Rico, it was my girlfriend's first time at a casino, right? Mm-hmm. This is always fun. Okay. It's always fun when you're taking someone to Vegas.
She's never been in a casino?
Never gambled ever.
Okay.
Right? Sonia, I took her to the casino one time. I swear to you, every couple hours, she was like, can we go to the casino? I was like, babe, like, nah, like, it's cool. Like, we'll go tomorrow. She's like, no, I can't think. I need to go to the casino.
Dang.
Sonia, we went to the casino at least twice a day, every day.
Yeah.
And though she made money, because again, like you were saying, you win a lot on your first. It was like they knew she was fucking new.
Oh, she gave it all back.
I'm not going to say she gave it all back. I'm not going to say she gave it all back on camera, but like, she ain't make no money.
Oh, okay, but she was able to have fun
like
though with it.
She came up like 400,
and then
but by tomorrow you know it was a Saturday, so they ain't giving you no money. I was just like, damn, boy.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
but that's what it is.
Casinos
weird.
is no joke.
No.
I didn't even tell her that we can get free drinks.
Stop touching me.
I didn't even tell her that we can get free drinks until the last day.
The last you didn't know, or you knew that?
I know. I've been to casinos, right? And I was like, ma'am, can I get a... And she's like, okay. And then she's like, oh, like, do you need cash? I was like, no, I'm fine. It's free. And she was like, what do you mean it's free? I'm like, the alcohol's free here when you're gambling. She said, we've been here for 8 days. Like, yeah.
Went off. Yeah.
I don't need to tell you all the game because you already sucked into this shit. Let me tell you that it's free alcohol. We really going to be here forever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that just reminded me when I went there. And that shit was funny because I was like, I've never been with someone that was just like,
you open up a whole new world.
Could not get her out of there.
Yeah.
Could not.
I'm opposite. When it comes to gambling, like, I'm not a gambler at all. When I go to Vegas, I don't touch casinos. I've tried casinos, but I'm just like not really that into gambling. I had the boys over.
Don't touch me.
I had the boys over earlier this week, and we were like, "Yo, let's get some poker going." Man, I must have played for 20 minutes and was like, it looks like I'm all out. And I let them play.
That's it.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever. I'm there for the good time. I'm there to kick it.
Right.
But like those two were competitive, man, and they were in it for a while.
Yeah, gambling is no joke, and I feel like stocks is gambling, but like
option trading is more gambling than stocks is. Stocks is more investing.
But I can't do
buying shares is more investing.
I can't do single stocks like blue chip stock. I can't just buy stocks because I end up taking it and turning it into options.
Yeah, it's right. I know what you're saying because but say you had $50,000 to play with.
Then
yeah, you probably have 20,000. Yeah, right, of shares of companies.
Yeah,
that's the difference. That's the difference.
Because I'm telling you, and every time I buy SPY, I'd be like, and then I like lose some money in an option. I'm like, I'm just gonna sell one of my SPY shares.
Yeah.
And it's like so easy. The next thing you know, you don't have any SPY shares.
Man, I just kind of had it. It was I don't know if it was a decision that had to be made, right? And I was like, damn, timing is a mug.
Yeah.
My buddy who's in the stocks heavy, he's like full time into trading, so he decided to join a mentorship.
Okay.
And
those will get you too.
Well, yeah, right, but he's been watching people that were joined it for over a year, so he's like, because he's skeptical on it, but he's like, no, he sees that like there's actually returns on it, so he decided to join it, and so he's like, he did it without, I didn't even know, but he was like, he paid for it, and it was like $1,200.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, dude, like, because he's like, if you're interested in trading, learning how to do this, that, and the third, he's like, if you want to, you can join my thing. He's like, the class is full, but like, if you want, we can split it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we can just split it. He's like, I already paid for it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I told him, yeah. But then I was like, man, that's a heavy investment. Just throw like $600 into this class. But like, but at the same time, like it could be a life-changing decision too, where you actually learn how to trade properly and can get these crazy returns, right? Yeah. But I was just like, I was like, it's holidays. I was like, I don't have an extra $600 to throw to this course, right? But I would love to learn because, like I said, like he's not doing it to play around either, right? He's for sure with it. But I was like, I don't have the extra. But I was like, damn, if I did right now, I'm sure it'd be a life-changing moment because I would be involved in how to get it done. But I was like, you know what? My time's not right now, which is cool.
Yeah, and everybody's time is gonna be different. Like us talking about it on this podcast, not everybody that's gonna see it is gonna actually get what we're saying. You know what I mean? Right. But I hope we're opening people's minds to at least tapping in. And it's like you don't have to put your money in, but at least dive into this shit so you can like have some security at the end of it, like and not just worry about a job and a 401k. And it's like actually investing in yourself and your mental.
1,000%, like 1,000% when you say mental because. Right, that's an asset. Like having stocks is essentially an asset, and so when things might get tight or feel tight, you're like, well, okay. At the end of the day, I still have these assets that are to support me. Right. And so like it allows a little mental freedom. And especially when it's stuff you don't have to worry about. Like you were saying, you don't understand the blue chip stocks. You pull your money out. That's like
No, I didn't say I didn't understand it. I said I just like I can't keep them in just stocks that are just like.
Yeah, because you're not making your money that. Yeah, exactly. You make your money faster doing options. Which you take your profits from options and put that in buy shares.
And then you end up taking them shares and putting it back in options.
Right. If trading doesn't go well.
Right.
Yeah. I get it.
But just a heads up for people that are into stocks. Just know that the market is moving off of three things. COVID-19, right? It's true. The feds, when they talk and have those little conferences that they have, and economic growth. Those three things are what the stock market is moving off of right this second. So we can't tell you what to buy, who to buy with, and how to do it. But know when those three things are happening to look into it. And that's for the time being right now. Yeah. Okay, how about this? This was a fucking thing I read, and it's true, and it actually happened because I researched it because I couldn't believe it. Black high school student, athlete, transfers schools after athletic director tells him he gained his speed from running from the police.
Dang.
He transferred fucking school. So kudos to this guy. Kudos to the guy that realized his fucking school was racist. His name is Tony Humphrey. Okay. He was he was a star high school baseball player, had to switch schools after that athletic director said what he said. First of all, to have to deal with this shit in high school is crazy. I can get it if you're in college and somebody says some shit like that. But high school, I think is nuts. Mm-hmm. And I think that, I don't know if we're getting, I'm not going to say racist, right? That's not a word. But I don't know if we're getting more racist and we're like drawing a more defined Sharpie line with everything. Because I don't think we've ever heard this story. Ever.
I haven't heard it. Or maybe it's happened and it just wasn't, news. I think the difference also, right, is today, 2021, mm-hmm. You hear about everything. Yeah, you just hear about everything. Because it's so easy for that kid that it happened to go on his Facebook or Twitter and say, this just happened to me. You know what I mean?
But even when Facebook was new, I don't feel like we thought to use it as a...
No, it was Facebook wasn't Facebook. That's right, because Facebook wasn't used for that. Twitter was around when Facebook came around, and Twitter was a more so messaging site. But again, things just kind of become. The more people get into it, they figure out how to use it differently, and then people just start sharing too much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Sharing too much. It kind of started with everyone's taking pictures of their food.
Sharing too much. Science, say that again. Say that fucking again.
Sharing too much.
You didn't say it with the energy you gave the first time, but okay, yes. Sharing too much. I think that's my biggest thing. And I mean, we're kind of moving conversations, but I really fucking hate when I go on Instagram and I see someone sharing too fucking much. Does that bother you?
So, tell me what you mean when you say too much. Be a little more insightful. Too much, what do you...
Okay. People feel... I'm trying not to get,
Yeah.
But when people feel the need to let people know they got a new job or a new car or a new house or a new some things, some are accomplishments and I get it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's I went on vacation and look at all the stuff I did, and it's who are you doing this shit for?
I mean, there's different kind of people. Lil Wayne said it best.
I'm so scared to ask this. What did Lil Wayne say?
Real G's move in silence like lasagna. It's one of the realest things that little man said.
And honestly, it bothers me because that's who we are. And two people that have a podcast shouldn't move in silence like lasagna. Mm. But we also been raised to not fucking.
But I also think a part of the intrigue of our podcast is that we move in silence like lasagna. So
the G.
Yeah. So when we do come out here and start talking, maybe it is a little more interesting.
Yeah. Because I mean, even when I'm talking to people and out in public, I'll even say and it's interesting that we have a podcast because we don't move off Instagram, we don't move off Facebook, and we don't move off people really. Mm-hmm. Outsiders we don't move off that. Mm-hmm. The most that happens is I ask your opinion, you might ask mine, but I don't give a fuck what's going on out there. Mm-hmm. I just know what my mission is. I know what I'm trying to achieve, and that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. It's not yo, look, we have a podcast. Oh my God, look. Mm-hmm. It's not like that. It's you catch wind, cool, mm-hmm. bro. If you catch something out of it, great. Mm-hmm. But also, I really don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to disrespect nobody that watches this, but it's just your opinion really can't hold value if I move the way I move.
Yeah. Right.
And we move the way we move.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you don't hear it, it didn't happen.
Yeah. And it's just fucking crazy. I don't even want to dive in this because we had a decent episode, but it's just that shit is really baffling to me when people are I have to post it on Instagram or I have to show my food. It's what the fuck is this? Mm-hmm. Who were you raised by?
Yeah.
I remember real quick. I remember the first time I had smoked weed and took pictures of it. And I must have put it either in my photos or something on the computer, but we had that family computer in the garage mm-hmm. that we'd use. Mm-hmm. Somehow mom was on it and she must have saw those pictures. I didn't post it, mm-hmm. but I was smoking weed and she called me out there and she said, "This shit isn't for the internet. So I don't know what you're going to do with this picture, but you don't need to take pictures like this." Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, it changed everything. Because I was she's right. Mm-hmm. it doesn't need to go on the internet. And like, who am I? She was like, who are you doing this for? Who would you take this picture for? Swear to God, I asked that question to everybody. When people post things that I'm like, it's like, who'd you do that for real quick? You don't even have to answer me, but just answer yourself. So,
I mean, to bounce off that, like that's where my struggle is with posting for my business. Like yes, when it comes to like I'm not on social media like that, right? So personally, I don't post anything. But like when it comes to the business, I need to post, but I'm personally attached to the business, so I have a hard time still posting because I'm just like it's me, right? So. Right, that same question, like, well, who is this for? If I'm talking about the business, I can understand that, but I'm still attached to the business, so I have a harder time doing it.
Right, and I mean, I guess that's why businesses or like they end up going to like other sources, right? Like, I need you to post for me because I can't. Me and who I am and what I stand for and my integrity. It just doesn't match this shit. Like to be like, hey, buy me. It's like, nah. But if you fuck with it, cool. Like
100%. I want you to like it and be excited about it and mess with it.
Genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely. But I don't want to force it down anyone's throat and say, yo, look at this. You're probably gonna like it. I don't want to say that to anybody.
And I bet you any marketing guru or anybody that's really into this shit is gonna look at us and be like, you're thinking about it wrong. And I completely get it. But that's why I'm not in fucking marketing. Yeah. And I hope somebody reaches out to us that's into fucking marketing because I can't do it. And if you go on our Instagram, it's like I'll post. I post once, twice. If something really is like heavy, I'll post it again. But like I don't have time or energy or thought to like really care.
About what?
Because if I'm posting for other people. It's not like I put the picture in my photos and just look at it.
Right. There's a difference.
There's a difference between posting it and being like, hope you like it, hope you don't, So it is what it is.
I mean, yeah, you can also look at it like when you post it, you're like, yo, this is cool. I think other people should see it.
Yeah. Like that's what this podcast is. I think it's cool. I think our topics, like what we talk about, is cool and different, and like people should see it. But like also, I'm not forcing it. And like, when we have a team that can like go marketing, do editing, I think things will be like so much easier for both of us. And like that's great, but like we're not there yet, and I'm not gonna. I can't.
No, we're not there yet, but we're getting interest.
Oh, for sure. Right. That's beyond the question. Like, yes, that's not even a question. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah. No. Let's talk about how we had our first guest.
We had our first guest.
Yeah.
Officially, like
our first official guest.
Our first
booked guest.
Booked guest.
Yeah. How do you? Before we even get into it. Did you think that we would have a booked guest as early as I feel we've had?
Okay, so this is even deeper, right? For anybody that personally knows me, I've been rocking with Rich Fresh.
Is it Rich Fresh?
Specifically, like I've been rocking with his luxury. What is it called? Luxury athletic?
Athleisure.
I've been fucking with his luxury athleisure. But when he started making masks during COVID, I was like, oh my God. Something I can afford for right now. Like, and then when I got it and I had the mask, I couldn't stop buying them because I was like, I feel safe here. I feel safe in this. And it's a black man doing nothing but trying to push the culture forward, right? So if you haven't got a mask, get you a Henry mask, okay? Yo. Get you a Henry mask. Sonny, I'm not even gonna look at you. Whenever you see me, do I wear a Henry mask?
Yes.
How often do you see me?
All the time. So check this, right?
Wait. Let me just get going further. I made a deck for this podcast. The deck required
a presentation.
A presentation, but like who I wanted to align myself with in a business sense. First, it was Better Health. I'm just going to say it out loud. Second, it was the Henry Mask brand. And third, it was Change Clothing. Sonny. The boss, the CEO, the man was on our podcast.
Let me ask you, how long after you proclaiming that you wanted to be associated with Henry Masks did it manifest?
I would say officially weeks. Maybe 3, maybe 4. Because Because I honestly, it might have even been less than that because I did it before I went to Palm Springs. The conversation happened in Palm Springs. It might have been 3 weeks. Maybe. Unexpectedly. And also, I want to give a shout out. I know this is kind of random, but I got waist beads. I don't know if you've known that. You did ask me one time, and you were like, what's that under your shirt? And I got waist beads. I don't tell anybody that. I'm saying it now because whatever. But, like, I also feel like the energy of those waist beads and the conversation that came from the waist beads, I also think that happened and brought these. But that's just me. Mm-hmm. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
Henry Mass.
There's power in that.
Listen, I don't even know how we can just have this up just permanently, just right here.
Man, so let me tell you, right? So like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, all last year I had seen these masks throughout the house in the shop. It didn't click to me that they were anything specific, right? Because I knew at the time, like I was just like masks were everywhere. But I did know that there was a shortage. And then I was like, I ran into these and I was like, okay, cool. Never made the association that they were Rich Fresh made these masks. But I just wore one. But like I said, I didn't wear them. I just didn't because I wasn't really going anywhere, and I had a mask that I just had to I kept reusing.
And I gave you a color that you probably wouldn't wear on average.
So I just recently, because he gifted us a set when he did the podcast with us, and I was excited to have it, right? And so I had them in my truck, and just on a whim, I needed to go in somewhere, and I was like, oh, let me just pop this on real quick. Let me tell you. This is a personal testimony. This mask here is something else.
Sonny, I think we need to zoom it up. While you talk, I'm just going to... If you ain't got this mask yet, if you ain't got your Henry mask, listen, y'all. If you ain't got Henry mask, listen. Then y'all tripping.
So I definitely see and feel the design that went into this product. When you wear it, it's thicker, not claustrophobic thicker, but it's a thicker. You feel safer. You feel more protected when you wear this mask, and it's form fitting. There's a methodical way this face mask was made, and so when it fits your face, it's not only protecting, but it's also like sleek. It's also fashionable. It's clean,
and you can breathe.
Yes, and you can. Oh, yes, and you can breathe
while
and you
feeling
can
protected.
And that's the thing. It's doing such a great job of everything that breathing, yeah, it does that. But on top of that, it looks great, feels great.
Yeah.
I supported 1,000%.
And no pun intended, but I honestly feel like the freshest in the room. I wear this to work every single day. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. There's not too many of us in the office.
Yeah.
But like I literally am like shitting on y'all.
You're 1,000% right. You're 1,000% right. When I wore this to the grocery store, that was the first time I ever like felt like, oh, I'm wearing a cooler mask than everybody else in here. I was like, oh, this is dope. And this was after I already met the man, and they was like, oh, let me mess with the mask, and I was like, oh, yeah.
And not just I understand. Met the man, but like the man poured into you.
The man poured in. We had a great conversation. I hope he enjoyed the conversation just as much as I did. Rich Fresh. Forever fan, forever a friend. I look forward to future conversations.
Yeah,
I look forward to.
For sure, we're gonna definitely have him on.
Yeah, I think he's a great person.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, seriously, and hopefully we can do something.
I think some culture menu.
Hey man. Henry Mass. Hey man. It's been a lovely episode. Episode 38.
Yep.
Episode 38.
Yep.
You know, if I had a fucking Moet bottle right now, I'd pop it to you because
wait till we get to 50.
50. Okay. Wait till we get to 100. But yeah, I just want to say episode 38 has been a blessing. We had our first guest. We have another guest next week. It's gonna be phenomenal.
We have a surprise.
We have a surprise first guest. It's gonna be a surprise to them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you haven't got a Henry mask, get you a Henry mask. Shout out to Fresh, Rich Fresh. Yeah. I think it's your time.
Oh, I was confused. You looked at me, so I think it's your time. I was
like,
well,
if you have anything to say, but...
Oh, no. It is his time. His time has been here. It's now. It's later.
Your time. It's your time.
My time to say singing us out the episode?
I thought so.
It's my time. It's my time to sing us out the episode.